You must ask yourself, which language should I learn first? This is the wrong way to see the things. The right question to be is, how do I choose the perfect language to match my situation? When comes the time to pick a language to learn, we get paralyzed. Should I learn French, Spanish, or Mandarin? You go on the internet and you type easiest languages to learn and you get more confused. The problem is not the language itself. It's rather that we don't have a systematic way to match our unique situation with the right choice. If you choose wrong, you will begin, struggle and get unmotivated. You will have just wasting your time. But if you choose right, everything will become easier. So today I'm giving you the exact framework I will use in order to choose the perfect language that will match my situation regarding my motivation, my goal and my time. First step of the process is your ideas. Which languages would you like to learn? Well, you might have some candidates, and for each language, ask yourself this question: what are my motivation? What is the time I can spare for learning this language, as well as my goal? If you want to go in more detail on this subject, I made a video that goes through this insight. Don't forget that you are going to spend some time to reach your goal, and along the way you are going to be carried by your motivation. So this is some aspect I think that you should very care about before jumping into this language learning journey. Once you develop your ideas on your time, your goal and your motivation, this is all on the paper for now, and now you have to check with the reality. Is this language possible to learn regarding your time, your motivation, your goal? And this is what we are going to check right now. So after having discussed time, motivation and goals, now we are going to confront the reality. How long does it take to learn a language? Here I am on the site of the FSI, the Foreign Service Institute, that originally formed a US diplomat for learning languages. And what is interesting is that they have data on how difficult the language are to learn when you are an English native speaker. The idea is that they classed languages in different categories, from the easiest to the hardest languages to learn, in order to reach the an advanced level of, in the European framework, it's like being a B2 or C1. And so you have different categories. The number of weeks they mention are described in a way where they work 25 hours in group, in classes, with a daily practice of 5 hours. So if we take the calculation, for example, we are going to retrieve the numbers to get the numbers. So, okay, this is better here. 5 times 5, and after you will have also 24, and you are going to have 600. Okay, so this is their assumption. So in the first category, you have, like, with no surprise, languages that are very close to English, and this is written here, languages closely related to English. So what I want to mention here, the main idea of what I'm going to show you, is to just give you an idea of how difficult a language is. Don't take the number for granted. This is going to be completely different regarding the person and also the learning strategy. It can be more, it can be less. It depends on many factors. Nevertheless, you have languages that are less or more difficult to learn, and this is what I want to show you right now. So here you have French, Italian, Spanish, and I think it's not very complicated. If you are French to learn English, you just need to work maybe 3 hours, 4 hours a week for 2 years or 3 years. And after, you will have a very good level. You could understand a lot of people. And so I think this is an investment you can make. This is the same for Spanish, or even if you're in English, French, Dutch, I think these languages are quite more complicated. Swedish and Norwegian, I think the accent and the pronunciation is very different. Nevertheless, they rank at category 1. In the category 2, you have German. And funny story, when I was in my engineering school, in my second year, I was learning German for 2 years. And I had the plan originally to go to Germany in order to perform my third year abroad. But the problem was that I didn't have any ideas of how long time it was. I will have to invest in order to reach a level to speak with native speakers. And I remember I bought a book. It was just grammar book, and I was just studying grammar every day. But this was very wrong approach in order to advance and progress very fast. So the story that is that I was not very good at English at the time, and so I quit my plan of going to Germany and I focus mainly on English to have the level that was required for having my diploma. And then I end up going to Glasgow next year, and this was a very good experience. And I got fluent in English with that, I think. In category 3, so you have a 36 week. So this is we begin to have like a very good number of hours to invest, I think, for speaking. So here we have 900 hours. So this is languages. Personally, I don't know. They mentioned that languages with linguistic and or cultural differences, so you have some differences with English. The category 4, so 44 weeks, I think here we are going to we're going to have languages that are quite known. So we have Russian, Greek, Croatian, Albanian, Armenian, Turkish, Ukrainian. So I think here, they say that this is languages with significant differences with English, from English. I think they have their own writing systems and as well as very different pronunciation. And so 44 weeks is going to take a lot of time, I think. So I think we are going to have 1,100 hours. This is quite a lot, but I think it's reachable in a few years of studying. And for the last category, last category 5, so here we have 88 weeks. So this is a double of the category just before. So it will be in terms of hours, 2,200 hours of study. So this is language which are exceptionally difficult for native English speakers. So we have, no surprise, Arabic, Cantonese, Mandarin, Japanese, and Korean. Why this is very exceptionally difficult? I mean, for Korean, you have a completely different alphabet. The pronunciation is completely different from English. Also, the grammar, like in Korean, for example, you have all the verbs that are conjugated at the end, as well as like the adjective are before the nouns, but you have a very specific system that is not very natural to get familiar with. So when I began learning Korean, I didn't know all of that. I didn't know how much difficult the language was, and in fact, I don't know if I would begin if someone will have told me, okay, guy, you are going to have to invest at least 2,000 of hours of study. This is quite a lot. Nevertheless, I think you can do less, and you will have also a very good level of comprehension of the languages. So here, so you have the different categories. I didn't go through the pronunciation, the vocabulary, and the grammar. You can go here. I will let you the link in the description if you're interested to navigate through this site. Nevertheless, I think this will give you some ideas on how long time it will take, even if it's just estimation, before jumping into your journey. Now we are going to see another aspect on how to cope with the strategy in order to have the perfect language for you. Okay, so now how do you choose the language you want to learn? You have different strategies that you can follow. The first one, and for me this is the most strongest one, is based on your motivation. The more motivation you have to learn this language, the easier the language is going to be to learn, no matter how it is difficult on the paper. On the other hand, if your motivation is not as strong as in the first case, you can try to find a balance between your motivation, time, and goals, and the reality of the field in terms of language learning. You can define a strategy based on maybe which language will be the most spoken, or which language will bring me the most in my career. Or otherwise, if I take an example, you like Asia and you want to travel, in which country you want to immerse yourself? Would it be China, Korea, Japan, or other countries in Asia? So the idea at the end is to find the perfect match between the time you are ready to invest based on your motivation and the goal you want to reach, and the language in terms of difficulty and opportunities that will resonate the most with you. I personally made the exercise regarding myself for Spanish. I'm currently learning Korean, but definitely if one day I am satisfied with my Korean level, maybe I would like to start learning Spanish. And here is my reason or my motivation. For me, learning Spanish will be interesting because Spain is not very far away from France. It's just at 1 hour of plane. I can also go to South America in order to speak with people and to live incredible experiences. There are a lot of countries in South America where Spanish is a language spoken. Also, I have some Spanish friends, and definitely the reason that will bring me a lot of motivation is that I will not start from scratch, as I studied this language when I was at school for several years. Even if I don't remember a lot of things right now, but when I hear someone speaking Spanish, I can rather understand like maybe 30% of what the other person is saying. So I think just jumping in the language again will not be a big problem, a big issue if I really want to dig in this language. And I think I could invest at least 30 minutes per day. So maybe in 1 year it would be 200 hours. And if I follow this principle in 2 years, I could reach maybe 400 hours. So I think with this strategy, I could reach maybe a level where I could easily understand the other Spanish people, and I could maybe express myself on very basic conversation. So I think this will be definitely the plan I would like to make in order to learn Spanish. And as well, on the reality, Spanish is one of the easiest languages to learn if you are a French, because it has the same alphabet, it is a very near country, we have a lot of similarities, and so definitely I will I will go to a language that is easier than Korean if I have to make another choice. Okay, so now you define your plan, you define the language, you choose the language you want to learn. How should you start? Well, at first, make a try period. Try to maybe study the language 15 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day for a given period. And after that, you will assess if this is something you want to continue. If you don't like the process, there is no need to push through if it is not something that you really like to do, because this is going to be hard to maintain on the long term. And so just starting little by little will help you to assess if learning this language is really something you want to incorporate into your life. I hope this video gave you some insight on how to choose the perfect language regarding your situation. If you like this video, please give me a like, post a comment or subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. Bye!